in certain economies where there is free markets, in such a situation also we can see, wherein they are given that um, facility to take up the production depending on whatever is the demand that is present. Okay, so then we learned about how the demand, the quantity demanded and price get affected. So in a free market, the quantity and price of goods supplied in a market are determined by the interaction between supply and demand. See, depending on the supply part of it, the I mean when the supply is low, the demand is high. As the supply keeps increasing, the demand falls. At a point where both of them meet is equilibrium price and the right amount of quantity which has to be taken up or produced. So that's the equilibrium quantity. After that, we also have looked into how the demand gets fluctuated apart from the price aspect of it. There are certain other conditions which get affected without considering the price part. So the main conditions of demand for an individual are income, taste, prices of other goods, population changes. Then how there is a shift in demand. Uh, Elaborately, in detail, we've looked into when the income of the individuals increases or decreases, the taste, um, depending on the preferences of the customers, taste of the customers, prices of other goods, population changes, etc. That is not subject to the changes in price. But because of these factors also, there can be a shift in the demand, upward or downward, or contraction or expansion. Um, then we looked upon how do we measure whether it is affected because of the changes in price. So if there is a percentage change in price on account that if there is a percentage change in quantity demanded, to what extent is that change is what is measured by way of calculating price elasticity of demand. Now, if its value varies between or lies between 0 to -1, then we have mentioned that it is inelastic. If it is above or far away from -1, it is away from -1 or lower than -1, then we have looked into as it is elastic. We've also started to look at a few of the questions. We'll go back to that part also. There are a few questions on demand and price elasticity of demand. We will also take up those questions, but before that, for some time we will study about the supply part of it, and then take up those questions as well. So the next slide says that supply. So already we have understood the meaning of supply. Supply refers to the quantity of goods or services that producers are willing and able to produce and sell at a given price. See, what is the, I mean, to what extent are the goods and services made available or kept available by the producers, those that they produce and keep available. That is supply. Supply refers to the quantity of goods or services that producers are willing and able to produce and sell at a given price. Then it says that the main objective of firm is to make profits. Or, I mean, we've already discussed about profit-seeking organizations. The main objective is wealth maximization. So, main objective is to make profits. They will supply goods if it is profitable to do so. See, otherwise it would be just like providing some services to the business. So that is not what we are looking at. See, we profit-seeking organizations will take up an activity if it seems to be profitable to them. Otherwise, see, they supply material, but still it is not profitable. They definitely would not take it up. Profits are determined by the cost of producing goods or services, and for which they can be sold. All other things being equal. We see all other things being equal, an increase in the price will normally result in a greater supply. How are we referring to this one? So now if the price increases, increase in price, and therefore profit. See, when price increases, definitely the suppliers also would want to supply more products because as price increases, profit increases. So that will definitely fetch them more profit. So it says that will normally result in greater supply. So supply also definitely there is no confusion here in this. That is logical because the price has increased. So the suppliers also will have a possibility to make more amount of profit. Therefore, automatically we see that the supply also increases. Greater supply and expansion of supply, and vice versa. Decrease in price will definitely result in a contraction of supply. So when it doesn't seem to be profitable, they also will not be interested to supply the material. Okay. The conditions of supply, if we look into that. The conditions of supply. Conditions of supply are all those factors which influence supply except price. Yesterday also we have looked into in case of demand, other than the price part of it, there are certain other factors also which affect the demand, like income of the people, taste of the people, prices of other goods, population changes, etc. So likewise, in case of supply also, apart from the relationship that it has with the price, there are certain other conditions also which apply. First, if cost fall. So what is profit? Profit is equal to the revenue generated the revenue or sales that is generated minus the cost. So we're talking about the first aspect of it. If cost fall, so we are talking about this cost which falls. See, automatically when this is lower, the profit available to the supplier will increase automatically. But then what are the aspects of cost? Cost will include labor, capital, raw material, other inputs, direct, indirect taxes, etc. So we have a list of costs which increase or decrease. So what happens if it decreases? So what happens if it decreases? Automatically, their profit increases. This would increase the amount of margin of profit which is available. So because of that, costs are under control, profits are increasing. Then what happens? So the supply automatically, if the costs fall, meaning higher profits are more insensitive to supply, the supply curve will shift outwards because profit is increasing. Automatically, they will also uh, tend to supply more profit. The logic behind all this is to maximize on the profitability. The the see, the relationship between price and supply is already been discussed. Whenever the price increases, the supply increases because they want to make more profitability. There is another way also. See, apart from the price or the revenue increasing, there are other factors also. That is, the cost also could decrease. So if the cost decreases, that also results in more increased profit. So because of this increased profit, the suppliers will tend to increase the supply. Profit maximization. Vice versa, if the cost um, if the cost rises, then what happens? Their profit, it will have an impact on the profit. See, we have put all the other factors as constant. So revenue is not changing along with the changes in cost. So revenue being constant, the decreases, profit increases, cost increases, profit decreases. When profit decreases, then the suppliers will not be interested to supply more. So that will result in a decrease in supply. That is at the same price. At the same price without having any change. So we also see that the other factors also can affect. That is wherein other factors like the cost decreases. See, at the same price also, still we see that either the supply increases or supply decreases. That is subject to the changes in cost. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Then we see how to calculate price elasticity of supply. So price elasticity of supply always has a positive value, average or non-average ask method. So the logic, the equation is same there. It was quantity demanded, it is quantity supplied. If we are calculating for a percentage change in the price, what is the percentage change in the quantity supplied? Same is the logic, same is the way in which we have calculated price elasticity of demand. Now we calculate what is price elasticity of supply. Your high or low price elasticity of supply means that a given price change leads to a larger or smaller proportionate change in the supply. The price elasticity of supply for a good is illustrated by the slope. So we will look into see how does it change because of the increase in price. Because of the increase in price, we also see that the supply increases. Because of the decrease in price, the supply also decreases. So that's the logic what we have looked into. So the price elasticity of demand. So whenever the price increases, we see that there is a proportionate increase in the supply demanded also. So we will take a few questions, but before that, we will also look into the equilibrium part of it. After that, we'll go to the examination kit and then answer few questions. The way we see how the market forces achieve equilibrium is to consider what happens if the price is too high or too low. Equilibrium is a concept we have already touched upon here when the when the supply is low, okay, then we see at the lowest price the supply is also low, but the demand would be high. But as the price keeps falling, we see that the quantity demanded keeps increasing. Okay, it keeps increasing. The equilibrium point is a point where both of them meet. So that is the point where they decide on how much quantity should be produced and sold. So that is the point at which whatever is the price which is decided. We have understood that part of it. Let's understand that in detail in the coming slide. See here on the x-axis we find this quantity demanded. And on the y-axis, the vertical axis, we see it is the price. For instance, at price P1. This is at price P1. The consumers want, so the explanation says that the consumers only want Q1 output. This is Q1. At P1, the quantity that is the consumers only want Q1 output, but producers are making Q2 output available. Q2 output is here. So here we are trying to look out the availability is Q2, but demand is only Q1 at a price P1. There is a surplus to the extent because this is what is made available, but the demand is only till Q1. So this is all surplus. Okay, surplus or what we call it as excess demand. Available, surplus. Surplus supply. This will be reflected in the short term by retailers having unwanted goods. Returns made to the manufacturers, reduced orders, and some products being thrown away. And so suppliers may be prepared to accept lower price. But all this surplus supply, excess quantity which is available with them, they somehow want to get rid of that. See, piling up. That's why we see clearance sales and all. some way at the end of the a particular period where they have to close the books of account. Instead of having huge amounts of inventory as closing stock, they end up reducing the selling price and then make the sales. So reducing the selling price will motivate or will uh, create an increase in the demand. So customers get attracted to that and then they come forward and then purchase. Sometimes we also see that even if those customers who are least interested in that product also, they get motivated because of the decrease in the price. So that is what is the concept here. It says that because now we see that there is surplus supply, the manufacturer wants to reduce the selling price. So will start accepting lower prices. So the price lower prices than P1 for their so when the price falls down from P1 to P, this reduction in price will lead to a contraction in supply and an expansion in demand until equilibrium prices reach. So the price keeps falling. As the price keeps falling, we see that the quantity demanded keeps increasing. So till what level will this happen? Until both of them meet each other. So that we see that otherwise the quantity demanded was here, Q1. Now the quantity demanded, but supply was here. So the quantity demanded starts increasing when the price has fallen. So when it starts falling down, the Q1, the quantity demand keeps increasing. And how long will the price fall? It will start falling until until a point where both of them meet. So this is the equilibrium price. Okay. Conversely, so there's another alternative also which is mentioned. Conversely, at price P2. So I'm erasing this screen to discuss about at price P2. At price P2, the quantity demanded. If this is the quantity demanded, price is very low. Okay, price is very low at P2. The quantity demand is very high at Q2. Will exceed the quantity supplied at Q3. The price is low, the supplier also is not interested. Price is low, it is not profitable to the supplier. So the supplier has supplied the quantity at Q3. Low price, low profit, low will be the supply. There will be a shortage of Q2 and Q3. So here we see that there is deficit supply. Supply is less, demand is more. So we see that there is a shortage of goods. When there is shortage of goods, then what happens? So the price has to be increased so that the supplier is motivated to supply more. Okay, demonstrating the excess demand. So when there is shortage of goods, it is indicating that there is demand. Demand is more. When the demand is more, supply is less. What happens? How does that situation is solved? So the suppliers will raise their price. So the price starts increasing. When the price starts increasing, okay, then the supplier automatically will start supplying more quantity or more units of material, more quantity of material. He will start supplying because price increases, profit increases. He will also supply more number of goods. So till what extent? Till the extent where we see that see the demand, the supply keeps increasing, suppliers will raise their price leading to a contraction in demand. So when the price rises, see, otherwise it was demanded here, the quantity demanded also keeps falling. Because when the price increases, quantity demanded decreases. We also know that. So till what point does it happen? When both of them meet, the quantity demanded and the supply, when both of them meet. So until that point, the price will keep rising so that the quantity demanded keeps falling. Okay. That's the logic here. Suppliers will raise their prices leading to contraction in demand, provided that suppliers are able to amend their output levels. That possibility because suppliers, what is that they are able to supply? That is again an important aspect of it. See, just because the price increase, the supply will not automatically increase. It is the ability. We are talking about the ability. Supply refers to the quantity of services that the producers are willing and able. Then again, they also should be able to supply that amount of material, quantity of material. Okay, able to amend their output levels, the price and quantity will tend towards the equilibrium points P and Q. Okay, that's the P and that is the equilibrium. Equilibrium changes. It says that if the demand curve or the supply curve shifts, price and the quantity bought sold will change. If supply shifts, the resulting change in price will depend on the price elasticity of demand. If the demand shifts, the resulting price change in price will depend on the price elasticity of supply. See, we see that the changes are taking place on account of changes in prices. When the demand changes, when the supply changes. So that is what we have seen in the equilibrium. If the demand curve or the supply curve shifts, price and quantity bought sold will change. That we have already very clearly understood there. If the supply shifts, because the resulting change in price will depend on the price elasticity of demand. If there is a change in the supply changes, and because of the changes in the supply, then the resulting change in price will depend on the price elasticity of demand. If the demand changes, the resulting thing is dependent on price elasticity of supply. We will also take up the questions in the examination kit. There is an example given. A poor harvest for an agriculture good will shift the supply curve to the left. So there is no availability of crop itself, the supply. So there is a decrease in supply resulting in a price increase. So when the supply shift, then it is dependent on the elasticity of demand. Okay, that is an example given. Before we take up these things, for some time we will work out the questions and then come back and touch upon these topics. We've answered till 22. We've left this question undone. No? So 20th question. Let's take it up 20th question. So okay. See from the you want to say something, Tavya?
No, ma'am. I was just taking out the calculator.
Okay. See, from the demand schedule below, the price elasticity of demand using the average arc method. So we've calculated the averages of both the price and the quantity demanded. So using the average method. See here what happens. See when there is a decrease in price, when there is a decrease in price by 5 cents. So the logic here is if 22.5 is 100%. See here we took the base as the 100, but here now because it's average method, 22.5 should be taken as 100%. So the change of 5 is what percent? that is percentage change in price. Similarly, for the percentage change in quantity demanded and substitute that in price elasticity of demand. So how much is this?
22.22.
22.2.
22.22.
In a similar fashion, I think, see that this also will be same thing, 22.5.
Yeah, it is the same as well.
So the calculated value will be price elasticity of demand will be one is increasing, one is decreasing. No? So it would be definitely -1. So this is denominator is falling, the numerator is rising. So minus plus 22.5 by minus 22.5. 22.225. What did you say? I'm really sorry.
22.22, ma'am.
So this is 22.22. Same is the scenario there also. So
Yeah.
numerator has
Same.
22.22. The denominator has minus 22.2. So we will have this value as -1. Mm. 23rd, movement from PO to P1 shows what? PO to P1.
PO to P.
An increase in the supply of goods.
Yeah. So no, ma'am. Increase in
Supply of
supply.
goods,
No,
an
no.
expansion of demand, a fall in demand. When the price falls, the quantity demanded.
Demand is expanding. So expansion of demand.
When price was P0, quantity demanded was at Q1. When the price fell down to P1, the quantity expanded till QO. So there is an expansion
of demand.
A normal demand curve is downward sloping because
Rising prices.
downward sloping. When does the demand fall? When the price rises, that's the logic what we have.
It's B.
Right, rising prices causing an expansion in demand. When prices rise, the demand falls down. Okay, it doesn't expand the demand. Rising prices causing a contraction in demand. So B is C says companies require a lower profit margin as more. No, this is nothing to do about that. So that will involve the supply part of it. We are just now talking about demand curve. The demand curve falls. Demand curve is subject to the price part of it. Okay. 25 complementary goods. Complementary goods are see that good which can be used along with another good. That is a complementary good. See, we can talk about mobile phone and then chargers. So, it only when one good is available that then only the other the demand for the other product also arises. So in this case, the purchase of one good means that a similar good is not purchased. A number of goods exist, any of which can be purchased to satisfy your need. Then we see one good is free and the other has to be paid for. The purchase of one good leads to the purchase of the other. Shoes and socks. Shoes are purchased automatically. Socks also will be purchased. Mobile phone is there. Of course, it comes free of cost charger. But let's say iPhones are not provided chargers, so they have to buy iPhone charger also. So something like that. So one product is there. If you in a kitchen, stove is purchased, lighter has to be purchased. Some things like that. Those are complementary. When use the terms below to complete the sentences regarding the demand curve. A shift to the right of the demand curve, a shift to the left of the demand curve, an expansion along the demand curve, and a contraction along the demand curve. Are we to match them? If the price of the good rises, then there will be okay. So we'll put them numbers, kind of a matching we will do. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the options given are if the price of the good rises, then
there will be contraction along with the demand curve.
So very carefully we have to choose.
Yeah. The price of yeah, ma'am. If the price of the food rises, then there will be a contraction along the demand curve. So that will be 4.
4. Okay. If the disposal income increases, there will be
income, then there will be shift in the demand curve to the right side.
The demand increases.
Yeah.
So because more is the income, disposable income available with the consumer, they are willing to pay. So there will be an increase in the demand. So increase in the demand, it rises. So it will shift to the side. Right side. If the supply of goods increases, there will be supply of goods increases. There will be
expansion in the demand curve.
When the supply increases, there will be
increases. There will be expansion of supply increases. There will be an expansion along the demand curve.
expansion along the supply increases.
I think it's the expansion. Since the next option will be price of the substitute falls, there will be a shift in the demand curve. So the left option is the
one second. Last one, what did you say? If the price of a substitute falls, there will be a
shift to the left of the demand curve.
If the price of the substitute falls, there will be we are left with one.
Yeah.
Shift in the left of the demand curve. If the price of substitute falls, people will shift towards the substitute. So this product demand falls. So it will move to the left of that. So this will go with 2. So we are left with 3. So how do we justify that? If the supply of good increases, supply increases, price increases. Okay, supply increases, price increases, demand falls. Okay. So then how does it happen? Supply of the good increases. Oh, what did we learn about that? The supply of the good increases. More is the supply, more is the price. Demand should fall, no?
No, if the supply is more, then the price will be less, right, ma'am? Like,
Okay, 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 okay. If the supply is more, it is not increasing, but it is otherwise the availability is more. See, otherwise the availability is more to make them purchase more. The price has to okay, 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 okay. Then they will have to reduce the price. When the price reduces, the demand increases. Okay.
yeah.
So three will go here. Got it. Got the logic. 27. The demand curve for the product of a business will shift to the right when there is a shift to the right, that is increase. When there is a reduction in indirect tax on the goods, an improvement in production, which lowers cost, a fall in the price of goods, an increase in the demand of a complementary good.
So, increasing the demand of a complementary good.
So the demand of the complementary good increases, the demand for the other product,
Yeah.
complementary product also will definitely increase. So this one is 28. The shift to the right in the supply curve on the diagram below can best be explained by an increase in the price of the product, an increase in the price of the raw materials, an rise in the amount of wages paid to labor, the result of technological progress.
Mm.
Supply is increasing. Supply
Supply is increasing.
first one
So,
increase in the
is it
price.
it's because of technical progress? It means
Uh,
like increased only
A,
that way.
an increase in the price of the product will reduce the demand. The
Yeah.
quantity demand falls. But here we are looking at
Since
price is same,
technology,
price is static. We see that
yeah,
price is static, but the supply is reducing. So an increase in the price of the product cannot be the option because we see prices at the same level. It is only that the supply was here. Maybe we can call this as S, and then from S it has fallen down to S1. So can we attribute to the price? No, we cannot attribute to the price because price is static. So A is ruled out. Is it about cost? See, when the cost decreases, then the profit increases. Then when the profit increases, supply also increases. But the supply is falling down here because it is
yeah.
moving towards the right. So supply falling down is also not the option. An increase in the amount of wage, that is also cost. So that also cannot be. Because the result of technological progress. So maybe because of that. So technological progress will result in increase in cost. We know that part of it. See, later on, it is cost effective. See, when technology is adopted, um, ultimately we can achieve the cost effectiveness. There is no doubt about it. But initially, though, it will be additional cost incurring. So when the incurred increases, the profit decreases. So along with that, we see that there would be a decrease in the supply. So price is static here, but the cost here has increased on account of technological progress or whatever is the case. So we see that D would be the option. Okay. Technological reasons. So the quantity supplied has reduced. 29 says that which two of the following statements are true? We have to choose two statements. Let's read through them first. Raising the price of an elastic product will lead to an increase in total revenue. Raising the price of an elastic product will lead to a decrease in total revenue. Yes. So very carefully we have to understand the elasticity part of it. Rising the price of an elastic product will lead to an increase in total revenue and the other. See, when the price increases, what happens? The quantity demanded decreases. Now here it is talking about the increase in the total revenue. Uh, rising the price of an elastic product. Elastic product will have a value which is lower than -1. That is what we have understood.
Yeah. Mhm.
Now, in that situation, when see, in all situations, we are only talking about the price rising. So, when the price rises of an elastic products will have a value above or lower than -1. We see that it would be less than -1. So there is lot of impact on the quantity demanded. So revenue will um, get affected. See the demand. If we talk about the elastic product, the increase in price
Demand.
has impacted to a great extent on the quantity demanded. See minus if in the if it is plus 1%, the impact, for example, let's just check this. If this is +1, the quantity demanded should be greater than 1. So maybe let's say it is -1.5. So the overall percentage is -1.5, isn't it? So it is less than 1 -1. So the impact is there more than proportionately than the change in the price. The price it has changed by 1, the change in the quantity demanded was more than proportionate. So very few units were sold. See, 1% increase in price, 1% should be the decrease in the quantity demanded. But what actually happened was more than proportionately. Therefore, less number of units would have been sold. If less number of units are sold, the revenue generated also falls. So B will be the answer. So contrast, see, we have talked about elasticity. We should also talk about inelastic products. If we talk about inelastic products, then how do we figure it out? So if it is +1, I think maybe it is only -0.5. So the demand did not get affected. Rather, very less impact was there in the quantity demand, the impact on the quantity demanded. So I think we see that the revenue increases because it is inelastic. So that is taken into consideration. Less than proportionate change. So when the price increase was by +1%, the quantity demand should fall by 1%, but it did not fall. See one example like essential commodities. Even when the price increases, we don't see much change happening with the quantity demanded with that. Yesterday, the other day, I was giving you an example. See, no matter how much the price increases for salt, people don't stop buying salt. So that's an essential commodity. See, people are talking about petrol, the price is increasing. But do we see that the proportionate decrease in the quantity demanded? No. So to that extent, government, see, here the beneficiary is the government is making, we do not see the cost is increasing because of that price increasing. Cost is constant, kind of, see, worldwide when we look into that. So not much change is happening. What is happening as a result of that? The total revenue for the government is increasing because the price is increasing, but the quantity demanded is not proportionately reducing. People have not stopped using automobiles. Maybe there is, maybe some of them are considering carpools, etc., or little less, but absolutely it is not changing or reducing proportionately with the increase in price. Cooking gas price has increased. Are people did people stop cooking? No. So we maybe they are using more effectively. It is not that they have stopped using it or very less, but maybe they have taken all possible measures to save on the um, consumption of gas, cooking gas, etc. That is how we understand that. Okay, B and C will go with this particular question. Which of the following factors would not influence the price elasticity of supply? Price elasticity of supply is percentage change in the price having an impact on the percentage change in the quantity supplied. If there is an increase in price or decrease in price, would not influence.
Not influence.
Fine.
Habits, ma'am. Since
People who get used to that, I think it would not matter to them. Habit, yes. The number of firms in the industry, more or less, will have an impact on the quantity supply. Which of the following would not shift the supply curve to the right side? The right side is it would be decrease in the supply. So the options given are government subsidy, government expenditure tax, and increase in technology. Lower input.
government expenditure tax, since it was nothing.
Okay.
It will shift to left side, no? Government expenditure.
To the right side. The
Will not shift to the right side.
it will be the same. The government subsidy more benefit. See, if there is a government expenditure tax, it will be met because see, when government comes up with that, just because there is a tax which has to pay, people don't stop doing anything. They take it up. So there will be no impact on the would not shift the supply curve to the right, would not shift. It would be there like that only. Like the example of what I was talking about, petrol, these things, these are not taxes, but these are prices. But anything from the government, and when it comes up, things do not change drastically because people understand that they have to bear those things. See, GST had come up, so you also must be remembering that. So when GST was introduced in India, the people discussed, debated, a lot of things have happened. But did that impact the supply curve? No, it did not. So if there is a government expenditure tax, that will not have any impact on the supply curve. Okay. A farmer produces 1,000 tons of wheat with the government guaranteeing $50 per ton produced. If the subsidy is increased by $5 per ton and the production rises to 1,200 tons, the price elasticity of wheat using the non-average arc method. See, from 1,000 tons, it is increased to 1,200. If the change, the percentage change in the if the subsidy is increased by $5 per ton, the decrease proportionately 50 is 100%, 5 is what? So that would be 10%. 50, if we take this to be as 100%.
That would be change in price.
10%.
Yeah.
Then the quantity is the base is 100, 1,000, increases 200. So that way also we have to calculate. On the other note, for the this one, we can check this one as, see, 1,000 is 100%, 200 increase was 200, so 200 is what percent?
$20.
20%. So we just have to substitute these two. The change in the quantity supplied is 20%. So 20%, both of them are rising.
Yeah, so plus
Them
only.
are rising. So we have to find out what is price elasticity of supply plus 25 plus 10.
Plus 2, ma'am.
Yes.
Option D.
Okay. So plus 25 plus 10 is plus 2. How would you describe the supply of agricultural products in the short run? Agricultural products. Is it completely elastic? Elastic, inelastic, impossible to determine.
Inelastic.
Inelastic. Um, because it is that is all what is available. So the nothing much can be changed even if
Yeah.
there are changes in that because the crop itself is that much. This is in the short run. Maybe in the long run, certain other measures will be taken up to increase the crop. So it is inelastic. If the government set a maximum price below the market equilibrium price, which one of the following will this lead to? Excess demand, excess supply, market equilibrium, none of the above.
Excess demand.
There is a maximum price below the market equilibrium. Below the
Yeah.
market.
Since the price will be set at that rate, then
Equilibrium is here, somewhere like
yeah.
this is here, but the government has set a price here. So, okay, when the price falls, the demand rises. Which two of the following statements do not explain why the quantity of a product supplied may only increase in the long term? Two of them have to be chosen. Okay, the product may have a very long lead time. Spare production capacity is high. The products are necessities. D, import tariffs are very high. May only increase in the long term.
Long
Long term.
production capacity is not explained by the
Do not explain. Do not explain why the quantity of products supplied may only increase in the long term. The product may have a very long lead time. Long lead time is the time period, time gap between the requirement, the demand which arises, and the supply which is made. So, if it is for a longer period of time, that's the meaning of long lead time. See, if there is a requirement as on today, if it how many days does it take for them to deliver that? Is the lead time. So sometimes we see that very short lead time. Today you place an order, tomorrow you receive. Some of them have to be manufactured and then provided or something like that. So some of them may have very long lead time. So do not explain why the quantity of products supplied may only increase in the long term. The spare production capacity is high. The products are necessities. Products are necessities. Necessities can be taken up. See, the product supplied may only increase in the long term. Does not explain. See, does not explain. Do not. It will not explain. Do not explain why it is in the long. It is a necessity, so there would be no impact on that. So it will only increase in the long run. There is nothing like that. Absolutely, there is nothing like that. Because whether it is long run, short run, whatever it is, the products are necessities, so they purchase that.
Yeah.
Um, there is B bit says that spare production capacity is high. See, they have the capacity to produce. So when they let's say that on a scale of of operation for a firm, if this is the availability from starting from zero, This is the maximum capacity what the firm can produce. But just because they can produce, they do not produce. Let's say they are operating somewhere here. Put it as 60%. So at 60%, if the fixed cost is incurred the same for 0% to 100%, it is the same. But because of the demand, they start operating only at a particular capacity level. This is the capacity level at which they are operating, but they still have the possibility to produce more. See, they have to recover their fixed cost and start making profit. So when they are already operating at a particular capacity level, at that particular capacity level, the revenue that is generated will be sufficient enough. They set the selling price such that that will recover the total amount of fixed cost and the total amount of variable cost till there. Now they have spare capacity. When they have spare capacity, they think about utilizing that. They have the possibility to produce more. So they can supply more by producing more. So when they produce more beyond the present capacity level, now additional fixed cost will not be incurred. Only the additional variable cost will be incurred. So if the spare production capacity is very high, they can tend to produce more and supply. They don't have to wait for the long. Do not explain why the quantity supplied may increase only in the long run. They may not have to wait for the long run. They have the available capacity to produce. So more can be the supply even in the short run because they have the ability to produce that, and then the present capacity level will take care of the um, both of them, that is the variable cost as well as the fixed cost. Now when they utilize their additional spare capacity, they will only be utilizing the variable cost, incurring the variable cost and producing in that. So need not wait for the long. Okay? Therefore we can go with this one. Okay, import tariffs are very high, so they do not produce and supply that because it is cost is increasing. Cost, when it increases, the profit reduces. So supply also, they do not increase the supply part of it. So over a period of time they think about it. But B and C very well justify this necessity is one thing, whether in long run, short run, we do not see that impact. When they have spare capacity to produce and more, they have the capacity and the ability. So need not wait until the long period of time. Question number 36 says that in the diagram below, what action will suppliers take at the price of P high? P high is this. At P high, the demand is high.
Supply is also.
Okay,
So
price is high. The demand is low.
demand
Low.
low, man. Yeah.
Quantity demanded, no? Here.
Yeah. Quantity demanded is low.
Quantity
The supply
supplied is
high.
very high. Okay.
Supply is high. Will reduce the price to take more demand.
So to increase the demand, to increase the
price will be reduced, right? So that's the demand.
Increase the supply. Already supply is quite high. Supply the same quantity of goods, but at a once the price reduces, the quantity supplied also will reduce. Supply reduced quantity of goods, but at the same price. When the supply keeps reducing, so we do not see that when the supply keeps reducing, then what happens? The option would be the price reduces because supply reduces, the quantity demand increases. Okay, then the price falls. Decrease the price to attract more demand. Increase the demand. In the diagram below, too complicated. In the diagram below, the equilibrium price for chocolate is P0. This is the price. This is the price at which we see that what will be the new equilibrium price be if the people's income increases
Income
and
increases, then demand also increases.
when the price in people's income increases.
So demand also increases, no, ma'am. So that they buy more.
Um, income increases, demand increases. Income increases,
Yeah.
demand increases. So the equilibrium, see there, equilibrium is a point where the demand curve and the supply curve, both of them
Like a need. Yeah.
these are supply,
Demand
these
increases.
are demand curve.
Then,
See, when
yeah,
income
demand
increases, demand increases. So from P,
exponent.
it should increase. Okay, so above that. Um,
While
price increase, no, price increases, but the quantity demanded is reducing at W. So W cannot be the option. Price increases, price is increasing,
price
quantity
increases
demand also should increase.
should
Uh,
increase exponent now since demand curve is, yeah, so the option.
so the income increasing result in a decrease in demand.
No, increase in demand.
Increase in demand, the supply and the demand demand anyway has to increase. So it should go above because the
Yeah,
people income is increasing, demand increases. When demand increases, the equilibrium of increase in demand and the supply happens at here.
yeah, exponent. Option B.
In the now what is there is a technological progress. What will be the new price equilibrium if there is a technological progress in the chocolate making industry?
Technological process increases, then supply increases.
When the just now we have answered one technological progress, no?
Yeah, yeah, that's what
Uh,
the technological
when
progress increases,
so
supply
it becomes
increases.
technological changes. Initially, it is cost incurring, but it becomes cost
So,
effective
yeah,
over a period of time. So it becomes cost effective. Price becomes this is the equilibrium point at demand.
yeah,
Because it is cost effective, uh,
the supply increases to
the
the
quantity
extent.
demand increases because it becomes cost effective. So the
No, man, the supply will be more, right? Since technological progress, it will
mm,
be
supply
like,
will be more. Supply definitely is increasing. So it should
yeah,
the demand also increases because it becomes cost effective. When it becomes
yeah, yeah.
cost effective, it becomes the demand also increases. So the price also becomes effective, no? So it cannot be Y, it should be Z.
Good.
Price falls because cost effective price falls, demand increases, supply increases from here to here, supply is increasing. So Z will be the point. Okay, this time it is the increase in the price of cocoa beans. Price of cocoa beans is cost of raw material. Raw material cost increases, so the profit decreases. When the profit decreases, the supplier would want to supply less.
If we move to this side, supply curve.
The supplier wants to supply. There is an increase in the price of cocoa beans. Price of
Okay.
cocoa beans. Raw material cost increases.
It will be W point, ma'am. Since the price increases, supply will be affected.
The cost, the quantity,
Cost of
the quantity. It is at Q0. Quantity supplied also reduces because it is not cost effective for them. It is incurring more cost. It is not profitable. When it is not profitable, so then the supplier will have to reduce the quantity supplied. So it will have to move towards this side. So
left.
from left side. So from this point, he will have to move towards this one. So the points we see that the equilibriums are happening at when the cost increases, he cannot afford to sell it at the same price. So maybe he will increase this price also. Price also will increase. So the quantity demanded, okay, the quantity demanded falls. Here it is
W then.
supply is shifting towards the left side.
Yeah, left side.
Left side, this will be the supply curve.
Yeah.
Okay. The price also he has to rise because the cost of product material is increasing. So the price will happen here at this point. So this is the price. Otherwise, the quantity was demanded here. Now the quantity demand also. So this is the supply. The quantity demanded was here. So now it falls because the price is increasing. No, this is about markets. So we will take it up this particular topic about markets in the next class. We will take it up in the next class because until now we discussed about equilibrium, market, what if market fails, and then the other aspects of markets and economies of scale. We will take it up in tomorrow's class. Tomorrow, do we have a class?
Yes, ma'am. Tomorrow. No. Tomorrow is Saturday. Will not be our class.
So next class will be our regular time slot only. It is Monday. Monday will be only for today. I have requested Tarpan sir to have a shift in the class.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, it's still 10:30 only, no? Class time is still 10:30.
9 to that one sir usually takes 9 to 10:30.
9 to 10 he takes.
9 to 10:30.
Oh. Okay, I will just wind it up here and we'll continue on Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.